Hello, and welcome to the Midwest Technical Inspections virtual seminar. Today, we are going to be talking about setting up your printer settings for Google Chrome uh, to, for Google Maps. So when you have drawn your building and you go to print your diagram, you are going to want to right click on the page to get your print option and click on print. Now you'll see that when I do this, it has kind of moved it off to the side and I need to then recenter that. I can do that here by clicking on these little arrows, or I can actually do that before I ever get to this point. But once I have it a little more centered, I can hit the print icon, print option there, and it should pull up a preview of what I'm trying to print. Now you'll see that this actually is printing in 3 pages, and I have it set up as the landscape. Yours probably defaults to the portrait mode. And if you're in the portrait mode, you'll see that it's cutting off a part of the building here and definitely cutting off the adjacent exposures on the right hand side of this. And it has also made this into 3 pages because I have all this extra kind of stuff right here from the Google Maps from the side panel bar. And then way down here on the third page is finally my square footage. So there's a couple of settings that we want to do before we even get to the printing. And the first thing that we're going to do, so as soon as we get it done measuring, or even before we finish measuring, we want to collapse this side panel. So there's a little arrow here on the side of the panel that we can click on to collapse that side panel. Now, I want to make sure that my diagram is nice and centered, not over here, not over here, just right there in the center, and make sure that I can see adjacent exposures around it. Now I can go ahead and click on my right click and then click print. And when I click on print this time, the preview is going to show me that it got rid of an extra piece of paper. So now I have all of it right here, but you can see that it's still cut off to the side. But I got rid of that extra stuff, so now it's just one piece of paper. So the first thing I can do to try and fix this is to click right here on the layout and change this to landscape. And when I do that to landscape, you can see that it gives you a little bit more view of what's going on around it. So this would be sufficient. It is now 2 pages, so I have my measurements down here on page 2, but this would be good. I could still view this pretty easily. If I wanted to keep it as the portrait, I'm going to have to adjust the zoom on this. So I can come down here to the bottom where it says more settings, and down here where it says scale, I can actually change this and I can adjust it until I get one that shows the building as I need it. So it's probably going to be roughly 80% is where you need to be for that building to show up. And I could go in and I could adjust it and kind of move it over a little bit more. So rather than having it centered like I do, I could actually move it over a little bit farther as long as I can still see the adjacent exposure on this side. Now when I go ahead and hit the print option, click on print, it shows me the whole building. It shows me the areas around it. So now it's all on one page. So this would be a good way of doing this so that you can see everything. You always want to make sure that you're checking this preview to show that the building shows up on your print preview, because that's what's going to end up printing off and what's going to show for the client. So I'll just hit print and then save my document wherever I want to save it. So those are the printer settings for Google Chrome with Google Maps. Thank you.